assessment. There's more Kyle Kulinski now.
You've noticed this, but the Republican Party and MAGA have now officially made Hasan Piker public enemy number one. And they think that they're freaking it here because they think, oh, he's so extreme, he's so crazy, it's going to get normies on our side. In reality, they're just shooting themselves in the dick. Because the more people listen to Hasan, the more they realize, actually, he's not all that radical. He seems to be the one with common sense, and you idiots seem to be the ones who've lost your goddamn minds. And so it's kind of crazy watching them hyper-focus on him. I will say, and I texted him this too, I'm kind of jealous. I'm jealous because for the love of God, Ben Shapiro, why don't you come after me? Mark Levin, why don't you come after me? You know, all you fucking freaks on the right, for the love of God, target me. I want the smoke. I want all the smoke. You pudgy lard-ass bitch, okay? Hit me with your best shot. Give me everything you got, and I'll dismantle that shit easy, okay? And he's having fun with this as well. But it is so crazy watching him be public enemy number one. So here we go. This is Mark Levin talking to a literal, by the way, this is medically proven, a gremlin by the name of Rick Scott.
Medically proven. He said Rick Scott is a medically proven gremlin.
The largest Medicare fraud in U.S. history at the time. Okay, listen to the conversation that they have. Here we go.
You got Bernie Sanders doing it every minute of the day. He lives to trash our country.
Bernie Sanders lives to trash our country. Really? I kind of thought he lived to do free healthcare for everybody and free education. I thought he lived to tax the wealthy and redistribute that and give people a decent chance at the American dream. That's what I thought he lived for. I thought he lived to stop your stupid fucking war with Iran. That's what I thought. No, apparently he lives to hate this country. God, these people are so stupid. Who can be a right-winger? I mean that sincerely. Like, who can actually be a right-winger when you watch this? You're not embarrassed? You're not humiliated that these are the people on your fucking team? These are the people on your fucking team? Jesus Christ.
You've got people in the House who admire some of the worst mass murders on the face of the earth. And I want to ask you about one person individual, this guy, Hasan Piker, who is a radical Islamist, if not jihadist.
He called Hasan an Islamic jihadist. Bro, that's Islamophobia on steroids right there, dog. That's like, oh, his name is Hasan. I assume he's like Osama bin Laden or something. Jesus Christ. Oh, my days. He went from 0 to 100.
Like, between me, Mark Levin, and Rick Scott, who do you think is closer to a religious fundamentalist in our worldview, in the things that we advocate for? Mark Levin is a Jewish supremacist. Rick Scott is a right-wing Republican Christian nationalist. I'm woke. This kind of shit doesn't work. This is why it's like always ridiculous when they say this about Ilhan Omar. It's like, oh, she's hijabi, right? So they'll be like, oh, she's an Islamist fundamentalist. She's a Islamic jihadist. It's like, the fuck are you talking about? Ilhan Omar is one of the wokest congresspersons in the country. She's fucking pro-trans. Like, shut the fuck up.
That escalated quickly. That radical, like, we're not radicals, but like I can understand a stretch of an argument. Say, oh, theoretically, you're on the left. You could be radicals. I get that. But a fucking Islamist or jihadist, oh my word. They're so sloppy and so lazy with their propaganda. Oh my goodness. It's so hard to take seriously.
He celebrates 9/11. He says he has no patriotic connection to the United States.
They're living large off that one quote of the America Deserved 9/11 thing. Hey, jackass, he's talking about the CIA concept of blowback. That's what he's talking about, which, you know, people, intelligent, serious people all know it's real, and the biggest dumbasses in the world pretend it's not. But the whole idea is, hey, go read Osama bin Laden's fucking reasons for doing what he did. Some of it is psycho-religious stuff, of course, but a lot of it is just geopolitical shit, where he's like, you did this to us, so that's why I'm doing this shit back to you. That's what's called blowback. If the CIA can acknowledge it, your fucking lard-ass can acknowledge it. But he can't, because he's trying to get a quick own on Hasan, so he pretends like he actually loves 9/11. He wants to do another 9/11 because his name is Hasan.
October 7th, he was okay with all the raping and the murdering and the mayhem.
Oh, come on, son. He was okay with the raping and the murdering. Oh, my word. I don't even know why I even do these segments, bro. What's the point? There's no point of connection with these people. Like, why am I doing this? Why am I torturing myself? I can't, man. I mean, by the way, has Mark Levin said a single fucking thing about the much more well-documented shit of the IDF raping Palestinian prisoners? It was literally on camera. We saw the video. And then they opened an investigation, and then the public had a massive backlash. They were protesting for the right to rape. The right of IDF goons and thugs and gangsters and criminals and terrorists to rape Palestinians. That's a fact. How about that story that came out where the IDF trains dogs to rape Palestinians and some of them have been raped to death? How about that? That's much more well documented than October 7th rapes. There certainly was no systemic rape on October 7th. That's a lie. That's a fucking Zionist lie, which was used as atrocity propaganda to get us to do a genocide after October 7th. He fucking falls for hook, line, and sinker. He still pushes the fucking propaganda, but he's got nothing to say about the well-documented rapes committed by the IDF. I can't take these people seriously. I just can't. He said nothing about any... He supports the genocide, period, full stop. He supports it, full stop. So any sort of smug lecture... You're not even moral. Like, how about you shut the fuck upsville because you're basically like a new Nazi. That's what you are.
The Democrat Party embraces this guy. You got people like Ro Kahana who go on a show and they're proud of it.
He can't even
Ro Kahana, like Meyer Kahana.
pronounce his name. Ro Kahana.
Yeah, if his name was Ro Kahana, you'd be fucking glazing his ass.
Go back. You've got Democrats campaigning with this guy.
Beast.
And he urged people, I think, to harm you, as a matter of fact. What do you make of that?
No.
Well, yeah, he wants people to murder me.
He loves it. Rick Scott loves this attention. He's like, finally, someone it took the bait. Yeah, he wants to murder me. Mark is like 3 seconds away from being like, yeah, well, maybe he's not wrong about that, Rick. Everywhere he goes with this story, people just look at him and go, yeah, I don't care. Or, no, that didn't happen. Or the third option, which is the worst, which is, yeah, you kind of deserve it, don't you? Like, which, again, not my point at all. He is just bringing this about. He's just bringing this on himself for no reason whatsoever. Rick Scott posts about me every day, by the way. Now, what's funny about this is, of course, Republicans keep saying I'm toxic. Toxic to the Democratic Party brand. What's interesting about that is you're Republicans. The fuck do you mean? You don't want Democrats to win. If I'm so toxic Democratic Party brand, why don't you let it happen? Why are you so worried? Why are you so worried that Democrats might finally, for once, lean into the left populist sentiment that exists in their base? Something to consider.
Murder. He said we deserve 9/11. He hates Israel. He hates Jews. He's anti-Semitic.
Oh, they're such liars. So what he's referring to is the clip that they all take out of context and lie about. They're lying. They are lying when they do this. They are lying about it. They say, oh, he wants to kill. He doesn't want to fucking kill Rick Scott. He was saying Republicans care so much about fraud, right? They pretend to care so much about fraud. They go after Somalis in Minnesota for the fraud. They don't care about fraud. If they actually cared about fraud, they would kill Rick Scott. And he says that because this guy did the largest Medicare fraud in the history of this fucking country. That's what he was referring to. What they do is they cut out like a 3-second or 7-second clip of him saying, you should kill Rick Scott. And they lie and act like he's instructing people to kill Rick Scott. That wasn't what he was doing. He was saying Republicans claim to care about fraud. If they cared about fraud, they would kill Rick Scott. All this talk about the Somali immigrants who commit fraud, Rick Scott did the worst fraud. They would kill him if they actually cared about it. That's what he was saying. It wasn't like an instruction, you fucking lying gremlin weasel fucking freak. Why do you look like you're not human, Rick Scott? I don't understand. Like, you look like you're an alien and you put on a skin suit. Why are you so bizarre looking? And why are you such a disgusting liar? And by the way, they're on a crusade now to ban Hasan from like giving any speeches on college campuses and shit. So the people who 7 seconds ago were sucking themselves off like, we're the free speech people, we believe in the Constitution. Now all of a sudden, oh my God, big bad Hasan, he say mean naughty words, don't allow him on. Like, fuck you. These are the same people who also want to destroy free speech and the First Amendment because they want to deport all fucking like pro-Palestinian people in this country, all anti-genocide immigrants in this country. They want to deport all them. So multiple different ways, they're destroying the First Amendment, they're destroying free speech, they're lying about Hasan, and they're crashing out and losing it. And they think they got a winning thing here. You don't. Believe me, you don't. Because what happens is, if people listen to you and they decide, oh yeah, let me go see what this guy's about, and they start listening to him, they'll go, oh, so people just been lying about him shamelessly the entire time. They just lie over and over and over and over. And anybody who actually decides to go listen will totally have their mind changed and realize that these people are fucking disgusting little demons, okay? But we're not done yet because we also have this. So, MAGA influencers started blaming Hasan for the White House Correspondents' Dinner alleged attempted shooting. Ready for this? Is this a good time to mention that Democrats' new darling Hasan Piker said he wanted the blood of his political opponents to run the streets and recently justified the murder of an innocent father because he ran a health insurance company? Reminder that Hasan Piker publicly advocated for President Trump's assassination. Perhaps one of his lunatic followers decided to give it a shot. Laura Loomer says, shooter is a brown, light-skinned black Democrat from California who's also a teacher. How much do you want to bet he's a Hasan Piker fan? And Wokeness says, Hasan Piker, quote, kill the motherfuckers, let the streaks soak in their red capitalist blood. 3 days ago, the New York Times promoted him. Drew Pavlu, I've seen enough, arrest Hasan Piker. Stephen L. Miller, anyone know where Hasan Piker is right now? So they immediately come out and say, blame Hasan, blame Hasan, blame Hasan. This is somehow his fault. This is somehow, something he's responsible for. Ready for this? HasanAbi Productions points out. So it turns out the alleged White House Correspondents' Dinner shooter was not only completely unaffiliated from Hasan Piker, he actually hated Hasan and reposted hate tweets on his Blue Sky account. Oops. In fact, not to, throw any shade at this guy, but there's a list of tweets that he liked the most. And the number one account that he liked the most tweets from was fucking Will Stancil. So sort of like radical centrist liberal type. Now, again, no shade to him. In fact, I think he's done some good work in terms of trying to fight back against ICE. But that's who this guy was. He was like a...
Putting HasanAbi Productions on the map, dude.
Radical centrist kind of liberal type, but very anti-Trump. And he ended up doing this. And by the way, very, very high IQ, very intelligent.
The Hollywood Reporter just wrote an article about you, and based on previous articles, I'd say they didn't used to hate you this much. That's crazy. The Hollywood Reporter's editor-in-chief is was a fan of mine. Invited me to a Hollywood Reporter dinner and shit. I guess they got the boss call as well. I don't know. But I'd argue eye rolling at another MAGA attempt. Who's writing this? Steven Zeitchik? What both Democrats and Republicans miss on Hollywood? Oh, this guy is trying to say, don't cancel Jimmy Kimmel, cancel Hasan Piker. Violence coded provocation is just right-wing thing. Wait, what? Yeah, this person is literally saying it's dumb to cancel Jimmy Kimmel. You should cancel. It's dumb to cancel Jimmy Kimmel. You should cancel Hasan Piker instead. That's what this person is saying. This is just like a throwaway article. Who gives a fuck?
Went to Caltech, literally worked on inventions for medical devices and shit like that. And there's also questions about I don't know, this thing doesn't really add up in the same way that the Butler thing doesn't add up. So who knows if this is all legitimate and on the up and up anyway, right? There's questions as to how real this whole thing is, if you really want to have that conversation. But yeah, no, he was absolutely by no stretch of the imagination a fan of fucking Hasan Piker. And multiple tweets are going after Hasan, subtweeting Hasan. So here's just one example. Cold Forces, the guy who did the shooting or tried to do the shooting. That's the name of his Blue Sky account. And somebody posted, the rich don't play by the rules, so why should I? Why petty theft might be the new political protest. So this is, the New York Times interview with Hasan where he says something to that effect, right? And somebody says, I think that we should simply run on prosecuting the rich for their crimes instead of creating a low-trust society that will sow the seeds for further fascism. Now, by the way, I agree with that point. But here's the thing. Hasan agrees with that point, too. He wasn't I saw the clip everybody was talking about. He's not, seriously arguing for these things. He's, sort of trolling. Right? And everybody fucking fell for it total jackasses and idiots. But anyway, the alleged shooter retweets this. I spent a lot of time in countries where graft and grifting are the norm, and I assure you it is worth a truly immense cost to prevent that from taking hold in our society. You do not want to live in that kind of a society. So this guy reposted it. So reposting some anti-Hasan thing. Of all the list of all the likes and shit, there were no Hasan posts there. I don't even know if Hasan is on Blue Sky. I'm on Blue Sky. I didn't even know if he's on Blue Sky. Follow me on Blue Sky, by the way. I mean, it's so desperate. It's so pathetic. They think, the right thinks they have a slam dunk. They have an easy win here by going after Hasan. They actually believe that. But honestly, the thing that it reminds me of the most is what was called the Pied Piper strategy. When the Hillary people did this with Trump, what they did is they boosted up Trump and sort of downplayed the other Republican candidates because they thought, oh, we can definitely easily beat him. So pump him up, act like we're most scared of him, and then we run against him and we win. Well, oops, what happened? It backfired, right? It backfired because it turns out he was probably the hardest one to beat. And so you fucked yourself there. Well, by the same token, they think, oh, we prop up Hasan, we argue against Hasan, and everybody thinks the left is just Hasan and they're all extreme. Oops, it turns out, well, what has Hasan done recently? Been on the campaign trail and doing, events with Abdul El Sayed, who now is just surged and might even be leading in some polls. He was down like 10 or 15 points, and now all of a sudden he's tied or leading. So it turns out by trying to tar Hasan and by extension Abdul, you just let actual Democratic voters know, oh, that's the one I want to vote for. That's the one I support. By the same token, smearing this guy, they're going to go, oh, this guy must be saying some real shit if the worst people in the world are fucking going after him. So by all means, go right ahead. Go right ahead. Do all your smears, all your lies, all your bullshit. At the end of the day, it's only going to backfire colossally. Because for the first time in a long time, the Democratic base is radicalized in the best sense of the word, and they're going, we need real fighters. We need people who are actually going to fucking hold MAGA accountable. We need people who are actually going to deliver on universal health care and free college and a living wage and ending the wars and a Green New Deal and ending the corruption and taxing the rich and all these great things. And that's what we're laser focused on like a motherfucker right now. So you can try all your smears and your pathetic attempts to like do the boogeyman game here. I promise you, it is not going to fucking work.
Hey, y'all, do me a favor.
Yep. He wasn't, but so what if you were? We lose the conversation just by engaging hundreds of Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, Joe Rogan, Charlie Kirk, and so on inspired mass shooters later. It would be crazy hypocritical to blame the left out of government, even if he had Hasan's tiny head tattooed on his pecs. Okay, dude.